I have 1 p.m. Welcome to the Mac Street Committee of October 2021. Thank you. Samantha, will you please call roll?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, I will do the roll call. When I say your name, just let me know if you're here. Grant Anderson. Grant Anderson. Okay. Charles Andrews.
Here.
Right. Thank you. Bryce Christo. Bryce Christo. Jerry Cooper. Jerry Cooper. Nathan Dom.
Here.
Thank you. David Fabiano.
Present.
Thank you. Angela Macaluso.
Here.
Thank you. Jennifer Jack.
Here.
Thank you. Mark Moore. Mark Moore. Kevin Lair. Kevin Lair. Arian Lagrange. Arian Lagrange. Paul Lopez. Paul Lopez. Rodolfo Lopez. Rodolfo Lopez.
I'm here.
Okay. Thank you. Jamie McCracken.
It really. Jamie, second.
Okay, I wasn't able to catch that. Was it?
It is McCracken.
Okay. Sounds like Jamie McCracken. All right. Jan Martin.
Here.
Thank you. Greg McDowell. Greg McDowell. Steve O'Brien.
Here.
Thank you. Dana Owasani. Dana Owasani.
I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Ramon Pedrahita.
Here.
Thank you. Matt Reeg.
Here.
Thank you. Patrick Sage.
Here.
Thank you. Chris Salas. Chris Salas. Emil Schmid.
I'm here.
Thank you. Woody Scouten. Woody Scouten. Leticia Vargas.
Here.
Thank you. Chris Wanamaker. Chris Wanamaker. Maria Angelica Deed.
Here.
Thank you. All right. Is there anyone who I did not call?
Bryce Christo is here.
All right. Thank you, Bryce.
Grant Anderson is here.
Thank you, Grant.
Sorry.
Kevin Lair's here.
Thank you, Kevin. Anyone else? Okay. All right, Madam Chair, we do have a quorum.
Thank you. As we have a quorum, so this Mac Street Committee is called to order. As a reminder, please mute your microphone to eliminate any feedback. You will have the opportunity to raise your hand in the chat to be recognized, at which time you can unmute your microphone to talk. When you begin speaking, please state your name as well as the organization you represent. We operate our meetings in full transparency, giving public access to committee meetings, materials, and discussion. The public cannot view the chat comments. Therefore, we're disabling the chat feature in all committee meetings. If you need technical assistance during the meeting, please contact the helpline at 602-452-5095 or contact MAG staff assigned to the meeting. We appreciate your understanding in helping us maintain transparency discussions for benefit of the public. Agenda number 2, call to audience. Members of the public were asked to submit written comments related to this meeting through the MAG website. Comments may be sent at any time leading up to the meeting, but must be received at least 1 hour prior to the posted start time of the meeting. This is the opportunity for the public to comment on items that fall under MAG's jurisdiction that are not on the agenda or that are on the agenda for discussion but not for action. MAG staff, have you received any public comments? If so, please read them out.
Madam Chair, we have not received any public comments.
Thank you. Agenda item number 3, transportation staff report. MAG staff member Patrick Stone will now provide updates and report to the committee. Patrick?
Madam Chair, members of the Street Committee, good afternoon. Thank you so much. I only have one item today, very quick report out. Sent out the notice in early September. We are recruiting for the vice chair position. At the end of the calendar year, Chair D will step down, Vice Chair Macaluso will step up to the chairmanship, and we will be requesting a new vice chair. Applications, requests are due in to myself. They can be sent by email. They're due in on November 1st. And the letters of interest should be made out to, excuse me, apologize. It should come from the city or town manager or supervisor. And that's it, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Patrick. Let's go to agenda number 4. This is approval of the consent agenda. Please take a few moments to review the minutes of the August 10th meeting if you have not already. Does any committee member have any revisions to be made? Hearing none, could I have a motion to recommend approval of the meeting minutes of September 2021?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Excuse me?
Second from Emil Schmidt.
Thank you, Mel. When Samantha calls your name, please indicate yay or nay. Samantha?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Right. Grant Anderson,
Aye.
thank you. Charles Andrews,
Aye.
thank you. Bryce Christo,
Aye.
thank you. Nathan Dom,
Aye.
thank you. David Fabiano,
Aye.
thank you. Angela Macaluso,
Aye.
thank you. Jennifer Jack,
Aye.
thank you. Kevin Lair,
Aye.
thank you. Rodolfo Lopez,
Aye.
Jamie McCracken. I think maybe this was Gabriel.
Yeah, this is Gabriel Elias for Jamie McCracken. Aye.
All right, thank you, Gabriel. Jan Martin,
Aye.
thank you. Steve O'Brien,
Aye.
thank you. Dana Oceani,
Aye.
thank you. Herman Pedrahita,
Abstain.
okay. Matt Reig,
Aye.
thank you. Patrick Sage,
Aye.
thank you. Emil Schmidt,
Aye.
thank you. Leticia Vargas,
Aye.
thank you. Maria Angelica Dean.
Aye.
All right. And was there anyone that I missed?
Yes, this is Chris Wanamaker with Pinal County. I vote aye.
All right, thank you, Chris. All right, Madam Chair, the motion passes.
Thank you. With a motion and a second and with the members poll, this motion passes. Thank you. Is the approval of the September 28, 2021 meeting minutes. Let's go to agenda item number 5. Mr. Dean Giles will now present the 2021 call for projects PM10 certified street sweepers. Dean, take it away.
Madam Chair, this is Patrick Stone. Brief update on this. This was a typo on my part. Mr. Steve Tate from MAG will actually be presenting this item. Steve? Steve, I show you're on mute.
I apologize. I haven't done very many of these meetings recently. Okay, this is the item addresses the competitive selection of PM10 street sweepers. It's for, okay, so we have basically notice was provided on August 2nd. We have the applications on the MEG website. You can see the location there. The applications were due on the 17th. We received a total of 14 applications. Next slide. Okay, some key dates. Today we're going to give it a chance to comment on the applications. The air quality check is going on the 28th, is going to approve air quality scores and recommend a prioritized list of street sweepers. On November 9th, the street committee will recommend prioritization of project listings. On December 1st, review and approve prioritization project listings will occur by regional council to approve it. Next slide. Okay, PM10 street sweepers, there's approximately 1.26 million available. Next slide. Okay, this is the list of street sweepers. In the past, we've read them off individually. This time we don't plan to. Does anyone have any questions or concerns about any of these applications? Any questions about the data or anything else about them? Okay, I'm not hearing any comments, so I think we should.
Steve,
Yes.
this is David Fabiano. I was just the one that was interesting to me was Litchfield Park and increasing service area. That one was a little bit interesting, but other than that, they all looked pretty good.
Okay, I would presume they're talking about increasing sweeping area within the town of Litchfield Park.
Thank you.
Doing now. Any other questions or comments?
So I just wanted to clarify something, and Steve and Patrick, please correct me if you're wrong. So as a street committee, the only thing we're going to do is make sure that all the applications are sound. MAC staff has reviewed in detail the data, and we are just going to approve the listing as is without ranking. So the air quality conformity group can then analyze it and then present at the next committee their prioritization based on the data that is in the applications, correct?
You're absolutely right,
Okay.
Madam Chairman. We strongly appreciate your explanation. Helps clarify things a good deal.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. We couldn't have said that better.
I practiced.
Okay, I think we're ready for the next slide. Oh, okay, this is me again. This time we're addressing the paving on paved road applications. This is for information, discussion, and possible action. The action, if there is one, would simply be to refer it to the air quality TAC for air quality scoring and prioritization And as the chairman mentioned, the duty of the committee is basically to look at the applications, help check to see if the cost and travel estimates are reasonable and that there are no fatal flaws. Okay, the next slide, please. Okay, I'm a little bit organized. I'm not going to go through all of these dates, but essentially the applications are all on the website. They were due September 17th, and we received a total of 5 applications. Okay, again, the key dates. They were doing the presentations. On the 28th, the Air Quality TAC will recommend project rankings. On November 9th, projects will come back to us for priority to develop project listings, essentially saying who's going to get what. And then on January 26th, the regional council will do the final approval. Of course, we'll go through all the other committees before that. Next presentation, next slide. Okay, there's approximately $5.77 million available. That's both in CMAQ and CMAQ 2.5. Okay, next slide. Okay, the first application is for the town of Gilbert, Stacy Road, and David Fabiano will present the application. Next slide.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the Street Committee. Stacy Road, as you can see here, this is the kind of the most telling piece of it. The subdivision that you see on that southeast portion of this quarter section of land, it developed within the past 3 years and annexed into the town of Gilbert. You can see the unannexed portions of land and annexed, and it's the ownership of the right-of-way. The town actually owns right-of-way only there along that new subdivision for just half of the street. We're getting a lot of complaints from residents down here. There's some new homes that are being built on the south side of Stacy Road inside the county on those lots that had been previously split, so no street improvements are being made. When it rains, it floods down here. Water coming again off from the south, flowing north and west, gets into this and really causes quite a challenge for those residents. And there's a lot of complaints and there's no maintenance. The county has not accepted this into their inventory for maintenance, so it's one of those no man's lands that exists. And so the town council agreed to make application for CMAQ funding in an attempt to try to come in and improve the situation here for the residents both in the county and within the town of Gilbert. And because this is something that wasn't within, again, it's just a challenging situation that exists. Half a mile of road here between Higley and 172nd Street, just north of the Hunt Highway. Next slide, Steve. That's our typical cross section that we're looking to put in there, local residential street. Because of the drainage and the offsite drainage that's coming and actually going across and through along this facility, it creates a bit more of a challenge. And we're trying to sort of fit into this environment as gently and as carefully as we can to get something that's going to be maintainable for the long-term situation. And the town is willing to annex the entire road and take the road over for maintenance, even though it does have those unincorporated areas along it. Next slide. Here's some pictures so you can see some of this is on the east end. You're at 100, the first picture there, you're at 172nd Street looking to the north. And we always put power poles in with nothing on them and leave them sitting right in the middle of roadways. And then over on to the right side of your screen there, again, lots of hair on this one. We're trying to cut it, we're trying to clean it up. That's where it comes onto Higley Road. And this is an area where site distances and there's a lot of things that are going on here that are going to have to be taken care of. And drainage is coming again from the south and east, coming across Hunt Highway, coming from the off the Santans, and causing quite a bit of an impact to these residents locally when it does rain. That middle picture is you can see that new subdivision that's on that southeast quadrant of that quarter section, and that's the part the town actually owns that piece that's dedicated. So kind of back behind that shrub that was left there, but then the road improvements were never made. That developer did make a payment of $160,000 for their portion of it. That estimate was done was really premature because the impacts are really quite a bit larger than that. Next slide, please. Oh, that's it?
I think that was the
Okay.
last slide.
So this is, again, one of those areas where we're in a situation, it's a checkerboard. The town has a small responsibility right now, willing to take on more because it's one that the county really is probably not well suited to be able to handle. And it's likely that these residences will eventually annex into the town of Gilbert. Because if they want sewer, you have to be annexed into the town of Gilbert. So we suspect that's going to happen in the future, but just don't know when. And in the meantime, trying to get a situation where it's more reasonable and usable, and also accessible for one of the mothers called about her child walking to school along this and then going up along Higley Road as well to the junior high school just to the north, and very concerned about safety. So thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Any questions for David or the town?
I have. That's Grant Anderson.
Please go ahead, Grant.
Thank you. First, I have three. First, what funds are you applying for?
The PM10.
So that's paving unpaved roads. But this is not a road. So I'm not sure how this qualifies. It almost sounds like it should be STP money of building a new road.
Is it?
Annex, you don't have to annex, but you have to get right away and you build. It's not really what is considered to be a dedicated road as yet.
Thank you, Grant. There have been, we did pull title reports and there are dedications that were made, but there was nothing ever received for maintenance by the county. So you have access ways that were granted and lands that are kind of sitting there in limbo, looking for someone to be responsible for them. And there's a couple of spots where that had not been perfected that needs to be cleaned up, but the majority of that has been cleared up where you have the land is there and encumbered for transportation. And this is one of those where it's historical, Grant, going back in some of the wildcat kind of activities that occurred, and we're just trying to again do the PM10 is an opportunity that seems to be appropriate. If another is appropriate as well, and the town is probably willing to pursue other avenues as well to try to help mitigate this and to get it into a sustainable situation. Thank you for the question, Grant.
Wouldn't the first step be to then annex? At least you're the applier, and if it's dedicated to the county, so to speak, they should be applying.
Thank you, Grant. The county has indicated in the past that if it hasn't been into their system for maintenance, that they've got enough that are already accepted for maintenance, and they're not really interested in taking any of those on. And so the town is stepping forward here, making the application in anticipation that the county would not oppose it and would be willing to allow that annexation to occur. Again, those rights were granted generally to the public. And there had been
dedications to the county because that's
agreed. Yeah. Grant, not a clean situation, a checkerboard area where it's challenging, and our desire is to try to do what we can for the residents. And it is a PM10 situation out there because it's an unpaved facility that is not getting regular maintenance, and we're trying to see what we can do if we can rectify that.
Hey, David, Grant, this is Angela with the county. If you don't mind, just like to step in a little bit with this roadway. Yes, it is partially within unincorporated Maricopa County, and David is 100% correct. It is one of those roadways that was dedicated, so it is an actual roadway. But the county did not what we call open and declare the roadway for public funds to be used from a maintenance perspective. Because a lot of this area has already been annexed by the town, this specific roadway, a lot of the area that is still county is on vacant land. So yes, the town is stepping up to be able to potentially pave this roadway for the residents in the area. The county, although it's not involved in the project, does support the town in getting these funds because it is, like David said, for PM10. It is a dirt road. There is already dedication there. It just needs a home, basically. And we do feel that it's more in the town's area. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Angela and David. I understand the nature of it. It just certainly looks like there's maybe an issue there because the county just indicated through Angela that it isn't open as a public road. So for maintenance responsibilities and now, so just the annexation seems to needs to take place first to make it qualified, so to speak.
Grant, great question. And I think we're stepping into some political realms there and into a place that I think may be beyond really the scope of our street committee. Because this is one of those where it's a challenge for the residents and in visiting and talking with the county and trying to understand their situation, understanding our situation, and just really what can we do for the community as a whole. And that's why this pot of funding seemed like it'd be an appropriate place to look to help to begin that process of perfecting that maintenance obligation and ability by a political subdivision.
Thank you.
Thank you, Grant.
Any other questions for David or on this project?
Madam Chair, Kevin Lair.
Please go ahead.
David, you mentioned earlier that possibly some annexation will take place in the future and talked about sewer lines. Are y'all anticipating going ahead and installing the sewer lines ahead of the project?
Thank you, Kevin. Good question. There is already sewer line in a portion of this, and we would plan to, as part of the project, finish that sewer line throughout the rest of it. The sewer line in it right now is about 1/4 of a mile of it, and we would want to just finish that. We have the same situation with water, where we have, again, given the nature of how it came into being, we have water in a portion of it, but there's about 1/4 of a mile of it that needs water yet as well.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the clarification.
Thank you.
Thank you, David, for your presentation. Patrick, I think we can move forward.
Okay, next slide, please. Okay, this project is from the town of Maricopa. It's Murphy and Hartman Road. It's now Rudolph Lopez will present.
Madam Chair, Rudolph Lopez, actually, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Actually have Mike Riggs, our Director of Public Services, that will be presenting on this project on our behalf. Mike?
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is the project we presented to do some pavement improvements on Murphy Road and Hartman Road. Next slide, please. This project consists of about 1.26 miles of roadway and 2 low water crossings at the wash on the north end of our city limits line, which then goes into the Gila River, the Grick property. What we're asking for is to do an 8 inches of AB with a double chip seal on all of Hartman Road, and then the 3/4 of the mile on Murphy Road. The balance of Murphy Road is being done by the developer that's putting in homes in that area. The balance of Murphy, it was not put in for improvements in the developer agreement some years back. And so we'll be responsible for that section of dirt road. We just felt like it was an excellent PM project because of the amount of dust coming in on the, from the traffic coming in off the Gila River Indian Reservation, and especially the truck traffic, the agriculture truck traffic that we're getting in from the farms, and they're headed into the dairies that are on the south side of our town. Next slide. These are some pictures of basically the road conditions. Hartman Road, we have put some millings down in the past just to try to slow the dust down just a little bit. We're not staying ahead of it with just the millings, so that's why we're feeling like if we can come in and put a good base down to handle the truck traffic with the double chip seal, that'll eliminate the dust that's affecting the residents there on both sides of Murphy Road and Hartman Road. That explains our projects. Is there any questions?
This is David Fabiano from the town of Gilbert. There was a comment about the development agreement from the past. Do you know when that development agreement was entered into by the city? Thank you.
Let me just clarify that. I think this is Rodolfo Lopez, director. So it was a development agreement. Originally, this was platted. Fortunately, during that time, it was platted, but some of the developers were relieved to not make the improvements off of Murphy Road. Originally, it was platted. We later on went on to establish a development agreement to only improve, which is only that red segment there on Murphy Road. And the remaining portion was just left as is.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is Maria with the City of Mesa. I do have a question. Is this road going to be mostly for trucks, or is any development or residential coming to the area? Is there a proposal for that?
Madam Chair, this is Mike Riggs. There is our property city limit boundary ends on that north side of the, if you want to go back one page on the map. However, that is Gila River Indian community next to us. There is a full section of property within a quarter mile. It's like a little island within the reservation property lines that are trying to go in for planning for future residential. So eventually it would be, it includes the residential traffic that from the Indian community to the north of us, and then potentially in the future, it would help to cover some of that residential traffic coming out of that island within the reservation.
Thank you. David?
Yes, just one more question. With that traffic, that future traffic that you've referenced coming from the north, is that double chip on 8 inches? Is that a section that the city is comfortable with, or is that just more of an interim section to try to improve the condition until a future time?
Thank you, David. That would be an interim solution for now until that, I think we don't have a ton of information on that residential section, so it's an interim for now.
Thank you. Does anybody have additional questions? Thank you for your presentation. Steve, please present the next presentation.
Okay. The next slide is from the Salt River Maricopa Pima Indian community. It's for Clarendon Avenue and Choya Lane. It's going to be presented by Jennifer Jack.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and Street Committee. My name is Jennifer Jack with the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community. And I have 3 projects that I'll be presenting. The first one is Clarendon Avenue and Choya Lane. Next slide. This section, we have a little section in between that doesn't connect to Choya. So it's Clarendon from 92nd to Dobson, and then Choya from Indian School to Clarendon, and then Clarendon from Choya to Longmore Avenue. The total length is 1.13 miles, and it's currently a gravel surface. We are proposing to pave with 2 inches of asphalt over 6 inches of ABC. There are currently 9 homes on the first piece of Clarendon, 4 homes on Choya, and then 3 on the other section from Choya to Longmore. Next slide. This slide shows our typical section for our paved road, for a local road. So it'll be 24 feet wide. And next slide. And this slide includes some pictures of the existing condition. And we'll go ahead and go to the next project. Next slide, which is Jackrabbit Road. And next slide. This is Jackrabbit from Dobson Road to Alma School. And this does have a school bus route on this roadway. It's 1 mile in length, and there are 10 homes located along this segment. It is currently a gravel surface, and we're proposing to do the same, 2 inches of asphalt over 6 inches of ABC. Next slide. This typical section is a little wider because it's a half midsection alignment. So it's 28 feet wide. And next slide. Here are some pictures of what this looks like in the field today. And next slide. Our final project that we're presenting today is Osborne Road. Next slide. This is from Westwood Street to Extension Road. It's a 1/4 mile, and there are 7 homes along this segment of roadway. It is also currently gravel, and we're proposing the same 2 inches of asphalt over 6 inches of AB. Next slide. This one again is a 24-foot wide roadway, typical section. And next slide. This is pictures of what this roadway looks like. This concludes the roadways we are submitting applications for, and I'm happy to take any questions.
I have a question. Anderson.
Please go ahead, Grant.
Thank you. You don't do dedications or right-of-ways within the native community areas. Are these accepted or part of the BIA road system?
We do have grant of easements, so they're not really dedications, but we do have right-of-ways. So, but they're easements, dedicated easements for road and utility. And so these projects we will get grants of easement for road and utility purposes along these routes.
Perfect.
And they will be recorded through the BIA.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I want to recognize David Fabiano.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jennifer, on the Clarendon, the first project that you showed, it turned and went north to get up to Indian School rather than just continuing on over to Dobson. Is there some reason for that change there?
There is a reason. There are some residents there that the road does not go through. It does not connect. So, and they are not interested in having that traffic connect. And so I doubt they will dedicate the easement to make it connect. So, but anyway, currently there's not a road that connects there.
Thank you.
Jennifer, I do have a question. In the Jackrabbit project, your typical section includes streetlight and sidewalk. Is that part of the project scope?
It is not. We have, that is just showing a place identifier for roadways that do include those. So as far as the sidewalk goes, we have a trail system map, and if the roadway is located on a route that has a sidewalk or trail, then that's where it goes. Jackrabbit is not identified on that map. So this is not part of the project, and we do not intend to do that.
Thank you, Jennifer. Does anybody have additional questions for Jennifer? Hearing none, let's please proceed.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your presentations. Really appreciate you taking the time and talking to the street committee. Agenda item number 7. Ms. Samantha Samples will now present the 2021 Call for Projects Pinal County Arterial Bridge Program project application. Samantha?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Next slide, please. All right, so similar to the slide you've seen already, this is just showing that the call for projects was sent out August 2nd. The applications are all still available online. They were due on September 17th at 10 a.m. We received 3 applications. Everyone also should have received an email about scoring and ranking the project. So again, you can see the applications on this website. If you can go in and review them and provide your scores by this Friday to me via email, I would appreciate it. Next slide, please. And these are just some of the key dates. So again, today we're doing just the presentations for the applications. You will all submit your scores by this Friday, and then we will go in and apply the tool and finish ranking. We will present that prioritized project listing in November, the next meeting. And then from there, projects will go on to through the MAG process, ending up at regional council for the anticipated review and approval of the listings in January 26th of 2022. Next slide, please. So you're for the Pinal County Arterial Bridge funding. What was available this year in the call for projects was for fiscal year 2025, and it was a little over $1.4 million. Next slide. So now I'm going to turn this over to Emil Schmid from Apache Junction to provide their presentation. Emil?
Thank you, Samantha. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Emil Schmidt, I am the committee member representing the city of Apache Junction, here to talk about our application for the Pinal County Arterial Bridge Program. Next slide, please. So the project is located along Tomahawk Road and Southern Avenue. They are 2 road segments, but they are connected at the intersection of both roads, making it one continuous project for a total length of about 1/2 of a mile. The project starts just north of the Superstition Freeway and the Tomahawk Road interchange. It proceeds north on Tomahawk Road to Southern Avenue to the intersection, and then west along Southern Avenue towards Weeks Wash. This is a collaboration project that utilizes 2 different funding sources to make a complete roadway project, since the Arterial Bridge Program does not fund bicycle lanes and CMAQ does not fund roadway expansion. With the growth that we are seeing in the city, including upwards of 1,500 new residential units planned and under construction north of the US 60, the expansion of Tomahawk Road is important to us, and it's needed to get access into the existing part of Apache Junction. And this is completely separate from the new area that's being developed south of the US 60 freeway. The same with Southern Avenue. The road has 5 existing lanes, 4 travel lanes and a 2-way left turn lane, which drops a lane and then has no sidewalk starting about 1,000 feet shy of Tomahawk Road. Next slide, please. So here is a graphic showing Tomahawk Road. You can see the yellow represents a sidewalk, and the red or magenta is the curb and gutter that would be going in. And of course, we have a blue line for storm drain addition. The addition of the storm drain is there to help with ADOT's issue, where currently the runoff will continue flowing south along Tomahawk Road and flowing under the freeway bridge, and causing some flooding issues to a car dealership at the south of the freeway. Here we have two sections, one existing, and at the very bottom you can see the proposed section with the pavement widening, addition of the bike lanes, curb gutter, sidewalk, and street lights. Next slide, please. And this is Southern Avenue west of the Tomahawk Road intersection. Again, you can see where sidewalks will be added. The red dots indicate locations for streetlights, and we will be widening to match the full width that we have west of this location and continue that full width geometry to the intersection. And you can see that on the road sections that we have at the bottom there. 2 travel lanes in both directions, a 2-way left turn lane in the middle with curb, gutter, and sidewalk. We do not show bicycle lanes on Southern Avenue since the existing road section west of here, the 4,200 feet of existing road does not have a bicycle lane. So we're matching that section towards Tomahawk Road, sorry. Next slide, please. Here we have several pictures. All of these are along Tomahawk Road. I'll start with the top left. We're standing at the US 60 interchange looking north along Tomahawk Road. Top middle, we're a little farther north on Tomahawk Road where you can see there's an existing curb, gutter, and sidewalk that was an offsite improvement as part of a commercial project that was completed about a year or 2 ago. And their offsite improvements ends there. You can see the striping with chevrons to merge traffic over to the existing small configuration of Tomahawk Road going to the north. At the very right, we're a little bit closer to the end of the sidewalk and curb so you can see what we would be tying into. Bottom middle, we are on Tomahawk Road looking north, but we are just south of the intersection with Southern Avenue. I don't know if it's easy to make out, but you can see on the north side of Southern Avenue, there's an existing curb and gutter on the east side of the road, which we would line up to, and traffic lanes would line up with that existing curb on the north side of Southern Avenue. And at the very bottom left, we are on Tomahawk Road, but same as the previous picture, but we're just turning around and we're looking south towards the freeway. And you can see the existing configuration, 1 travel lane each direction, a 2-way left turn. And you can see the dirt shoulder on the east side of the road or the left side of the picture where we tend to see a lot of erosion with any rainstorms coming in. And currently our public works crews will go out and maintain this shoulder regularly as part of their work here to help with any erosion mitigation. I believe that is the last slide, Madam Chair. That concludes my presentation. I'd be open to any questions or comments or concerns.
Thank you, Mel. Do we have any questions? Hearing none, thank you, Mel, for your presentation.
All right, then I will go in and thank you, Emil, for the presentation. We will now turn it over to Chris Wanamaker, who is going to make the presentation for the Pinal County project application for Superstition Boulevard. Chris?
Yeah, thank you, Samantha. And Madam Chair, members of the board, thanks for the opportunity to present this project. So right now this is the Superstition Boulevard culvert, box culvert project. The project is located on Superstition Boulevard, approximately 200 feet east of Arterial Road, east of Apache Junction at the base of the Superstition Mountains. The proposed improvement is to remove an existing 2-barrel 60-inch corrugated metal pipe culvert and replace it with a new 5-barrel 8-foot by 10-foot ADOT box culvert. The proposed culvert will increase the capacity by more than 5 times and will provide a 100-year level of conveyance below the roadway. This roadway has overtopped on more than one occasion, and there are several homes upstream of this location that have flooded that may be a result of high headwater elevation due to the low capacity of the existing culvert. The project will alleviate this roadway overtopping and also therefore reduce flooding on the homes in the immediate vicinity. The project is included in our 5-year transportation improvement and maintenance plan that was recently adopted by the Board of Supervisors in May of 2021. One thing that's interesting to note, and you'll see on the figure there, there's a fire station just 400 feet to the west of this culvert crossing. And when the roadway overtops and it is closed, that fire station has to take a 4-mile detour just to get to the other side. So this is a very important crossing that we need to provide that conveyance so that we don't have to close the road. Next slide, please. This slide shows our standard cross section for this type of roadway. So in addition to replacing the culvert, there will be some pavement replacement above the culvert, obviously. There will not be curb and gutter and sidewalk as shown on this cross section because this is a rural area and there's no existing curb, gutter, and sidewalk to connect to. The total cost of the project is estimated to be $1.65 million, with 12.8% or $210,000 being the local match. The design will be funded separately leading up to the construction year. Next slide, please. This slide just shows a few photos of the area looking east or west towards the fire station from the crossing. Unfortunately, we were not able to get a photo from down below because it is fairly steep to get down into the wash. It's private property and stuff. So if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. And again, thank you for the opportunity to present this project.
Thank you, Chris. I want to acknowledge David Fabiano.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Chris, question. Improving that throughput, and this looks like a very appropriate and good project, and wish you well with it. Downstream impacts with increasing the throughput that much. Have you looked at the hydraulics downstream and what that's going to do to it? Is the conveyance system adequate to be able to carry that through without that attenuation that those that little choke point has for you? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So at a preliminary level, that's been looked at, and we believe there's plenty of capacity in the existing drainage corridor to convey this runoff. But as part of the design process, the hydrology and hydraulics will be refined to much more greater detail than what we have at this point. But we do believe this project will not increase flooding on homes that exist in the area downstream.
Do we have any additional questions for Chris? Hearing none, let's proceed, Samantha.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Chris, for that presentation. So now we have one additional application to be presenting. This is for the town of Queen Creek for their Ironwood Road project. And I will turn it over to Jan Martin to give the presentation.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the Street Committee. Thank you for your time this afternoon. The town of Queen Creek is applying for a grant to widen, next slide, please. We're going to widen Ironwood Road from the newly realigned State Route 24 to Germain Road. If you look at the photo to the right-hand side, you can see the newly constructed at-grade interchange of State Route 24. It will be open to traffic in early 2022. Currently, there's no development along this corridor. However, there's active interest on both sides of Ironwood Road to develop businesses that will bring large-scale employment to the area. At this time, Ironwood Road is a 4-lane road. Peak hour traffic flow operates at low service F. The average daily traffic exceeds the most recent MAG model by about 30%. This is primarily due to larger than expected growth in the Queen Creek Santan area. And that growth will remain strong in the near future. By adding an additional lane in each direction, we will be able to stay ahead of the anticipated increase in traffic load. Next slide. In our transportation plan, Ironwood will operate as a principal arterial. It's designed to handle the bulk of our commuter traffic on the east side of town, connecting commuters with State Route 24 and the US 60. We're proposing at this time just to add the two 12-foot outside lanes and reinstall the 8.5-foot paved shoulder with a structural section of at least 5 on 12 and reestablish the safe slopes on the outside prism. As adjacent land develops, they will add the curb and gutter, sidewalk, luminaries, access points, and any future signalization. We're very early in the stages of it, but is our intent to establish a utility corridor outside of the paved area. Next slide, please. So the first slide on the left-hand side is standing on Ironwood Road at Germain, looking northbound. It's fairly typical and consistent all the way through. Down to the right, we're still looking northbound at the concrete at-grade interchange. And Mcdot built a little bit of the pavement there along with their project. To the top of that, at the interchange looking south. And then finally, to the right, we're at the intersection of Germain. We intend at this time to build a dedicated right turn lane. So we included a request in this project to relocate the traffic signal poles and equipment and rebuild the ramps. Thank you for your consideration. I'll answer any questions.
I want to acknowledge David Fabiano.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jan, thank you for the presentation. Quick question, the cross section that you showed, is there 16 feet out there that would be able to be converted to that raised median section right now? Because I just don't remember that clearly enough. Thank you, Jan.
Yeah, if you can go back one slide. So we are probably not going to do a raised median. Right now we have the divided highway with the cable guard separating the two directions. I believe we're intending to remain with that in the future. There is some drainage along there as well.
Jan, I have a question. You mentioned that one of the project limits is SR 24. Does Queen Creek have the right of way already from Mcdot, or are you waiting for SR 24 to be completed and then have that in your inventory?
So where the right of way, Mcdot's right of way ends on the south side, we pick up from there, and then we go all the way south through to Ocotillo Road.
Thank you for that clarification. Any additional questions for Jan? Hearing none, does that conclude our presentation, Samantha?
Yes, Madam Chair. We only had the 3 applications, so that would be it. And this item was just for information purposes. But again, just to reiterate, if the committee can go in and look over the applications, and the full applications are on the MAG website, and go through that score sheet and provide that to us, we would appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
also want to reiterate the importance of all of you attending the November street committee. That's when the prioritized listing is going to be presented. So please make sure you have it already in your schedule. Patrick, please proceed. Agenda item number 8. Are there any requests by the street committee members for any item in the future agenda?
Anderson, Patrick got back to me at the last meeting, after the last meeting, regarding trying to figure out a way to alert the jurisdiction if a member does not attend for 3 or 4 meetings in a row. Attendance is beneficial to the communities, and so far, I guess there's nothing on the procedures for committees or anything of that nature. So maybe it'd be a good item again to discuss in the future if we have somebody, not the jurisdiction, but the individual, so we can alert the jurisdiction that they have an individual that is not attending as per what they've appointed, and that we'd like to have attendance, both because of a quorum and secondly because of the information passed and so on and so forth.
Thank you, Grant, for that proposal. We'll consider it for the future for the November project. Any additional items? Hearing none, let's please proceed to item number 9. That
Maria,
yes.
so I apologize, Maria, I was slow getting there. Just to clarify on the Pinal County Arterial and Bridge, if we had previously sent scoring in, that I thought that was something that might have already completed.
Madam Chair, David, yeah, thank you so much for mentioning that, and for all the committee members that have sent in the scoring. Thank you very much. Yes, as for those committee members that we discussed at the the September committee meeting, those 3 applications were also considered for an RTAC funding proposal that is moving through the MAG process as we speak. Given that they are the same applications using the same scoring tool, the opportunity was made to member agencies, if they had submitted scores previously, to use those scores. They could change it, obviously, if they wanted. For those member agencies that hadn't had the opportunity to score, they certainly have that opportunity now to do it, yes. But for all those agencies that have communicated with us, we've gotten your requests. I believe we've responded back in kind, and thank you very much for that. But yes, if you've submitted scores, you can certainly stick with those scores. And as Samantha said, if not, scores are due by Friday.
Yes, David, I believe the MAG was just providing the opportunity for you to revise your scoring, because this is a different pot of money program, but you can use your same scores, just reach out to MAG. Thank you.
Madam Chair, this is Paul Lopez with the City of Buckeye.
Please, Paul.
I just wanted to reach out. I noticed in the agenda for last meeting, I showed up not during the roll call. I showed up a little bit late in the meeting and it showed I wasn't there. And so today I did the same thing. I wanted to make sure that I missed roll call, but that I'd be recognized for being at the meeting. So.
Thank you, Paul. You're so recognized.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 9, please. I would like to invite members to share information related to ongoing street-related project activities in their jurisdiction. If you have something, please raise the hand and you will be called on. David, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just there is in the town of Gilbert a general obligation question that is on the ballot. It's an all mail-in ballot for those that are interested, for general obligation funding for transportation in the amount of $515 million. So I just wanted the committee to know that that's a question that the policymakers in Gilbert felt appropriate to reach out and ask their voters for that support. Thank you.
Thank you, David. I want to recognize Angela from Mcdot.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This This is Angela. I just wanted to let the committee know that the county Mcdot's Transportation System Plan 2040 has been approved by the Board of Supervisors. I do want to thank all the member agencies for their work in putting in to our plan, and we will be distributing it to all the members in the next coming weeks once we package it up. But again, I just wanted to extend my great thank you for everyone on their hard work, and it has been approved.
Thank you, Angela. I want to recognize Emil Schmidt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to make the committee aware that last Tuesday evening at a city council meeting, the city of Apache Junction annexed about 8,100 acres into the city. There's two large developers that are in the process of getting ready to plan for some major infrastructure installations that need to be in place before they start turning dirt for homes. And part of that includes the widening of Ironwood Drive north of the SR 24 to a similar road section to what is being proposed south of the SR 24, because the developers anticipate a significant increase in traffic north of the SR 24 with the 11,000 or so homes that they plan on building in the next 7 to 10 years.
Thank you, Emil.
Okay, you're welcome.
Any additional updates? Hearing none, let's go to agenda item number 10. And this is to please note that our next street committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, November 9th at 1 p.m. virtual too. Please make sure that you come or that you have representation at the meeting. Agenda number 11. This is to adjourn. Could I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved, Madam Chair. This is David Fabiano from the town of
Thank
Gilbert.
you, David. Do I have a second?
Second, Herman.
Everybody, second. Take it, Herman.
Thank you so much. I do not need to have a roll call. So thank you very much to everyone that was attending. And have a great day.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.